The Berlin Wall stands as one of the most powerful symbols of the Cold War, a stark reminder of the ideological divide that split not only a city, but also a world. Its history is a narrative woven with threads of conflict, hope, oppression, and ultimately, reunification. To understand the significance of the Berlin Wall, one must delve into the historical context that led to its construction, the years it stood as a barrier, and the profound impact it had on the lives of those it divided. In the aftermath of World War II, Europe lay in ruins, its political landscape irrevocably altered. The Allied powers, primarily the United States, the Soviet Union, the United Kingdom, and France, had defeated Nazi Germany, but the victory was bittersweet. The war had left deep scars, and the victors soon found themselves divided over how to manage post-war Europe. Tensions between the capitalist West and the communist East began to surface almost immediately, laying the groundwork for what would become a decades-long standoff. Berlin, the once proud capital of Germany, became a microcosm of this larger conflict. The city was situated deep within the Soviet-controlled East Germany, yet it was also divided into East and West, with Western allies maintaining their presence in West Berlin. This division was emblematic of the broader ideological battle between capitalism and communism. As the years progressed, the situation in East Germany grew increasingly dire. The government, led by the Socialist Unity Party, faced mounting discontent as economic hardships and political repression took their toll on the populace. Meanwhile, West Berlin thrived, bolstered by Western investment and a commitment to democratic ideals. By the late 1950s, East Germany was losing a significant number of its citizens to the West. The allure of freedom and opportunity drew thousands across the border, leading to a brain drain that threatened the stability of the East German regime. In response, the government sought to stem the tide of emigration. On August 13, 1961, the East German authorities took drastic measures. Under the cover of darkness, they began constructing a barrier that would ultimately become known as the Berlin Wall. It was a physical manifestation of the Iron Curtain that had descended across Europe, a concrete symbol of the divisions that defined the Cold War. The wall was initially a barbed wire fence, hastily erected to prevent citizens from escaping to the west. However, as the days turned into weeks, the barrier transformed into a formidable structure, complete with guard towers, searchlights, and a no-man's land patrolled by armed soldiers. Families were torn apart, friends were separated, and the city of Berlin was irrevocably changed. The wall became a powerful tool of oppression, a means for the East German government to maintain control over its citizens and stifle dissent. Life in East Berlin became increasingly grim. The government imposed strict surveillance, and the Stasi, the secret police, became notorious for their invasive tactics. Citizens lived in fear, aware that any attempt to escape could result in imprisonment or death. The wall not only divided the city physically, but also psychologically. It instilled a sense of hopelessness among those trapped in the East, while simultaneously galvanizing the resolve of those in the West, who viewed the wall as an affront to human dignity and freedom. Despite the oppressive atmosphere, resistance persisted. Throughout the 1960s and 1970s, various groups and individuals sought ways to challenge the regime. Some attempted daring escapes, using makeshift tools to tunnel under the wall or constructing hot air balloons to fly over it. Others engaged in acts of civil disobedience, organizing protests and demonstrations against the government. The wall became a focal point for dissent, a rallying cry for those yearning for freedom. Internationally, the Berlin Wall captured the world's attention. It became a symbol of the Cold War, representing the struggle between democracy and totalitarianism. Political leaders from around the globe condemned the wall, and it featured prominently in the rhetoric of the time. In 1963, President John F. Kennedy delivered his famous "Ich bin ein Berliner" speech, expressing solidarity with the people of West Berlin and condemning the oppressive nature of the East German regime. The wall was not just a local issue, it resonated with the global fight for human rights. As the years passed, the wall became a backdrop for significant historical events. In 1987, President Ronald Reagan delivered a powerful speech at the Brandenburg Gate, urging Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev to tear down this wall. The call resonated with many, symbolizing the growing desire for change within Eastern Europe. The winds of reform were beginning to blow, and the oppressive grip of the Soviet Union was loosening. Gorbachev's policies of glasnost, openness, and perestroika, restructuring, sparked a wave of change across the Eastern Bloc, leading to increased calls for freedom and democracy. By 1989, the situation in East Germany had become untenable. Economic stagnation and political repression had led to widespread discontent. Protests erupted in cities across the country, with citizens demanding greater freedoms and the right to travel. The East German government, facing mounting pressure, attempted to quell the unrest, but the tide had turned. On November 9, 1989, a miscommunication regarding travel regulations led to a decision that would change the course of history. In a moment of confusion, a government spokesperson announced that East Berliners could cross the border freely. The news spread like wildfire, and thousands flocked to the wall, demanding to be let through. What followed was a scene of jubilation and disbelief. As the gates opened, people from both East and West Berlin poured into each other's arms, celebrating the end of a division that had lasted nearly 3 decades. The wall, once a symbol of oppression, became a place of celebration. People climbed atop the concrete barrier, wielding hammers and chisels, chipping away at the wall that had separated them for so long. The world watched in awe as the Berlin Wall crumbled, and with it, the ideological divide that had defined the Cold War began to dissolve. The fall of the Berlin Wall marked a pivotal moment in history. It signaled the end of the Cold War and the beginning of a new era in Europe. The reunification of Germany was not an immediate process. It would take time to reconcile the differences between East and West, both politically and socially. However, the wall's collapse set in motion a series of events that would reshape the continent. Countries across Eastern Europe began to overthrow their communist regimes, leading to a wave of democratization that swept through the region. In the years following the wall's fall, Berlin underwent a remarkable transformation. The city, once divided, began to heal and rebuild. The scars of the past were still visible, but they served as reminders of the resilience of the human spirit. The reunification of Germany was formalized on October 3, 1990, as East and West Germany became one nation once again. The Berlin Wall, now reduced to fragments, became a powerful symbol of unity, a testament to the triumph of freedom over oppression. Today, remnants of the Berlin Wall can still be seen throughout the city, serving as a reminder of the struggles endured and the progress made. The East Side Gallery, a stretch of the wall that has been preserved as an open-air gallery, features murals created by artists from around the world, celebrating the spirit of freedom and the importance of remembrance. The Berlin Wall Memorial stands as a solemn tribute to those who lost their lives attempting to cross the barrier, ensuring that the lessons of history are not forgotten. The legacy of the Berlin Wall extends far beyond the borders of Germany. It serves as a poignant reminder of the consequences of division, the importance of unity, and the enduring human desire for freedom. The wall's history is a testament to the resilience of individuals who dared to dream of a better future, even in the face of overwhelming odds. It is a story of hope, courage, and the unwavering belief that, ultimately, love and solidarity will triumph over hate and division. As we reflect on the history of the Berlin Wall, we are reminded of the fragility of freedom and the need to remain vigilant in its defense. The lessons learned from this chapter of history continue to resonate today, as the world grapples with issues of division and conflict. The Berlin Wall may have fallen, but its legacy lives on, urging us to strive for a future where barriers, both physical and ideological, are dismantled in favor of understanding, compassion, and unity. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content on building meaningful relationships and living a fulfilling life. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to hearing from you and seeing you in the next video.